Hello and welcome to the show. This, of course, is your weekly guide to everything that's hot and happening in the automotive space. We're called Zig Wheels. I'm Risha Mataru, and we've got a hot lineup for you this week from the Italians, the Germans. There's plenty of it on store. Check out what's on the show. Audi's family in India gets bigger. We check out the newcomers, the RS5 and the A7 Sportback. Forget road rage, tune in to our pick of the best racing games. And the prancing horse gallops into India, we get the lowdown on Ferrari's launch. Well, quite a smoking hot lineup that we've got for you on the show, just as I promised. But let's kick things off with the first of the two Audis on the show. This one is the RS5. Vikram Gaur got his hands on it in Delhi, and here's what he took away from it. This is a Zig Wheels exclusive.
Audi as a brand in India has been going from strength to strength. We've witnessed their entire product lineup in terms of having their entry-level sedans, SUVs, and even a supercar like the R8. And now Audi is looking at further enhancing their product portfolio by introducing the RS series. And kicking it off is the RS5. This car has got a performance pedigree and is literally a beast in designer's clothing. Just stare at the car and soak it in. The hood design, the character lines, the headlights and tail lights. The Audi RS5 is undoubtedly a great looking car. It has received enough scaffold treatment to give it a solid, robust stance. And no matter which angle you look at the car from, it spells only one thing: pure thoroughbred muscle. The interiors are typical Audi elegance as well, with top-notch materials used all around. A well-crafted dashboard, neat leather seats, high-quality plastics, and of course, the usual gizmos such as the MMI system, reverse parking sensors, and all the other little creature comforts that ensure that you are in the lap of luxury. Belonging to the RS family means that the RS5 does have a very sporty gene. Having said that, it means that handling and steering input has to be right up there and up to the mark. This is a car, you point it in that direction, it just goes. It's something you want to take on a track, toss it around, and just have a great blast. The real story of the RS5, however, lies under the hood. This car shares the same engine as the Audi R8, however, with a different state of tune. The 4.2-liter FSI V8 engine is coupled with a 7-speed S-Tronic gearbox, produces 440 horsepower, and can launch the car from standstill to 100 km an hour in about 4.5 seconds. With great handling, however, you do lose out a little on ride quality, but Audi has addressed that by giving you 3 setups, where at just the click of a button, you can change the way the car rides. You've got the comfort, the auto mode, and the dynamic. Dynamic is what you want to use most of the time if you're me. Here to take on the likes of the BMW M3 and the Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG, the RS5 does have to make a mark against such tough competition. But something tells me that this car has the potential to do just that. The Audi RS5 is a car designed for the connoisseur. It's a car that can do everything right, be it performance or drive around town from point A to point B. This is a car that's been designed to give you a feeling of having that robustness as well as the luxury. It's a 2-door coupe, no doubt, yet it just does it all right. Priced at 76 lakhs ex-Showroom Delhi, the RS5 is not cheap. However, one trip behind the wheel, and that ought to convince you that this car ain't such a bad deal after all.
Well, that's not all of the Audis on the show. We've got one more special Audi after the RS5. We've got our hands on the A7 Sportback. Of course, Dilip Desai, or Kaka as he's more fondly known, has been taking it around for a road test. And I'm just waiting for him to show up so we can get a lowdown on what that car is all about. Hi Kaka, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
You've been racing around this beautiful car. I'm sure you're getting a lot of eyeballs on the road.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about this. Is the all-new A7 Sportback.
This 3-liter TDI Audi A7 is a out-and-out driver's car. I've been at it for the last 2 days, and I can assure you that this car excels in every department that she's meant to.
The all-new A7 Sportback is Audi's latest launch in the Indian market. Designed as an alternative to a premium saloon, the A7 sits well between the A6 and the A8. Offering a luxurious sporty experience aimed at the young and moneyed. The Sportback design theme works well to separate this Audi from the others. Head-on, its leaf lines and R8 looking front end amply display the performance and handling potential for this car, with muscular flares on the wing offering a unique view through the rear view mirrors. With all that design delicacy tapering off to the sexy rear end, it's a car that says you've arrived and in style. Get behind the wheel and you'll notice how driver-centric the interior design is. A sculpted, well-laid-out fascia aids this, along with a heads-up driver display that keeps distraction down to a minimum. While it's a car for the driver in you, for the odd person who wants to sit in the back seat, there's adequate headroom considering that the roofline slants all the way back to the C-pillar. There's also class-leading boot space, but it's the driver-centric elements that really set it apart from the crowd.
When you sit into the driver's seat, you get a feeling that everything is built around you. The legibility of the instruments, all the controls that you can handle. There's not a single issue where you can point fingers and say that this is not right. You see the other cars at this price range, this car has an edge over them. Sheer performance and driving pleasure. The car is the driver's paradise, not only passenger's paradise. Passengers are taken care of. The driver is pampered, let's put it that way.
The pampering continues even after you fire up the engine. The A7's V6 TDI is one efficient and well-mapped oil burner, putting out 249 PS with a scintillating 449 Nm of torque. But numbers aside, it's the sheer drivability of the V6 that makes it worth talking about. The power is available all through the rev range thanks to the well-mated 7-speed S-Tronic transmission. With sensible engine mapping, offering truckloads of power and torque as and when you need it. The power is not peaky or limited to the top end, but rather well-structured irrespective of what gear you're in or what the road ahead demands of you.
We had a 0 to 100 acceleration of about 7.2 seconds, which is very, very quick. And though she's electronically limited to 240 or 250 kilometers per hour, she will easily pass 230 without batting an eyelid.
The Sportback stays true to its name, offering sharp and precise handling traits. It's a dream to drive through undulating surfaces without worrying about scraping the bottom, with just the right angle of approach. While it is the driver's car, ride quality is not affected because of that. With multiple settings for the suspension through the multimedia interface, getting the right quality of ride shouldn't be a problem. And then of course, there's the 7-speed S-Tronic transmission.
Let's accept one thing. All these high-end big cars are meant for smooth tabletop tarmacs that are so-called available in India, whatever they are available. That doesn't mean that you cannot take this car on fairly bad roads, but you've got to be very, very careful because she's got a long wheelbase and the amount of the height of the clearance that is available to you between the wheelbase can be drastically very little on a very rough road. So you have to be very, very careful. I have thrown this car around in a ghat, very tight, smooth section. She goes around like a leech and one has to experience it to believe it.
Internally, Audi's positioned the A7 between the A6 and the A8. However, its clear rival is of course the CLS from Mercedes-Benz, offering a more racy design and sharper handling characteristics at a good price point. 65 lakh ex-showroom should certainly put a dent in the rival's space. Of course, there are other all-out performance cars available at this bracket, but you'd buy the A7 simply because it offers a blend of all that performance coupled with standout looks. Well, I'm going to let Dilip Kaka go back to testing the car, and we're going to go after a short break, but plenty more coming up right after the short break. Coming up, forget the daily commute, drift into a virtual world. It's our pick of the coolest racing games.